Hello YouTube, my name is Patrick. Today we'll be taking you through the process of building the Velocity RDA. Are you ready? Let's do it.
Alright, what's going on YouTube? My name is Josh, of course you know me. Today we're going to be doing a coil build tutorial for the Velocity. It's a two-post design, so it's pretty simple to build on. And some of the tools you're going to need are needle nose pliers, cutters, I'm using ceramic tweezers, scissors, the whatever wrench it takes to loosen up the screws, and I'm actually using some Japanese organic cotton. And two of the other things that I did not show was the coil jig and the wire. Alright, so let's actually get down into this. If I bump the camera, I do apologize. It is not in the best of places right now. Alright, let's zoom in a little bit here. Alright, so as you see, it's a two-post design. Very, very, very simple to build on. And let's jump right down into actually building the coils themselves. Today I'm using Lightning Vapes Kanthal A1 20 gauge, and what we're gonna do is take off two loops, two separate runarounds on the spool. So there's one, and I don't straighten my wire or anything, so that's why you don't see a drill here. Alright, and here is two. So we're actually going to go on and clip that. Throw that out of the way, so we're left with two strands of wire. For this particular build, it's going to be done for the IPv3 Li. So, it's going to be a little bit higher if you're using a mech. You're also going to need a ohm reader as well for this build. It is kindly low, so just be aware of that. But today, where it is going on a regulated device, we're just going to build a 3mm coil. So on this coil jig, I know that this right here is 3mm. So we're going to start there, and we're going to do 5 wraps. And with 20 gauge, from time to time, it does get a little difficult to actually hold on to it while you're trying to wrap it, so I kind of cheat a little bit and use a pair of pliers. So we've already got one, and when you do this, you want it to be as close together as humanly possible. And I'm sorry if I'm moving out of focus with this. So not too terribly worried about the spaces that are in that, because we can actually take that out when we heat it up, or we can actually go on and take it out now. So crimp it together just a touch, and we'll actually finish that up. I'm going to go on and clip this extra long lead. And when you're dealing with 20 gauge, you really want to when you're clipping it, you really want to hold on to the other end, especially if there's people around you, because it can fly off the coil jig or the clippers, and it's really painful if you get hit in the eye with it. Alright, and we're working on the second coil now. I'm trying to stay in frame here. I don't have a monitor or anything to look at, so gotta keep peeping around the back of the camera to make sure that I'm in frame. Alright, these coils look a little spaced because I'm trying to keep it in frame, but they will work nonetheless. And we're also going to go on and clip this lead as well. And remember, hold on to the tails because it does get, they do fly off very easily. So this particular RDA, the deck actually has Allen keys, so we're going to back those out a little bit. With Allen keys especially, you want to make sure that you don't bring them out all the way, because they are a pain in the butt to put back. The Mutank actually ships with the Allen keys out of it, or the Allen screws out of it, and I actually have to use the tweezers to get them in there. So yeah, what you want to do is make sure that you don't run them all the way out. Alright, that there probably needs to come out a little bit more on that bottom one. Alright, looks good. So you're going to take your coil jig, and you're actually going to slip the coil back onto the jig, because that makes it a little bit easier to install. And if you notice, let me zoom in here. If you notice, one lead comes over the top and one lead comes over the bottom. And if you put the top one in the top hole on one side and the bottom one in the bottom hole on the other side, it's actually going to work out a lot better and a lot easier to actually do. And then when you get it in there, don't worry about it being perfect, especially not right off the bat, because it's not going to be. And take your little Allen key and tighten your first lead down. This particular lead is the positive. You don't want to get it too tight because it will strip out. And if it don't strip out, it can and probably will break the lead. Don't have to worry about it too much with the 20 gauge because it is such a large wire. And we'll worry about straightening that up later. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put that on there. And top to top and bottom to bottom. Now when you're doing both of them, both coils, it can kind of get a little frustrating because you've already got all these leads that you're working around. So top to top and bottom to bottom. Just like that. And as you're pushing your leads in, be very careful because you can get stabbed with the other two. So now what you're going to want to do is tighten these down. And remember, these don't have to be perfect. They just have to work. And if you can get them perfect, that's great. If not, don't stress it. It's not the end of the world. You can straighten them up as you dry burn them. Alright, and that right there is what we had to work with so far. But right now I'm going to take my clippers and actually clip the leads. That. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Remember, you want to hold on to these leads because they can get thrown. That there's what we had to work with. I'm going to do some adjustments to some of these, and to adjust them, pretty much all you're having to do is push them in. Make sure you want to be able to see the lip of the deck around the coils, and we can actually go and push them in just a hair and then tighten them back down. Now we're going to go back around with the clippers and just make sure nothing is sticking out, like this little thing right here. We're going to go on and get rid of that. Now with these small ones, you're probably not going to be able to hold on to them while you are clipping them. So just look away and make sure there's nobody in the line of fire, and that there's what we have to work with so far. So now I'm actually going to put it on a device and get these pieces out of the way. So now we're actually going to put it on a device and get them glowing. Alright, and we're back. So now I've got it sitting on the IPv3 LI that I was talking about. And right now all we're going to want to do is just go through and just even out these coils just a touch. They don't, like I said, they don't have to be perfect or anything, so, and they're more or less even, or at least horizontal. So I've got it on the IPV. We're going to run it at 90 watts and do our dry burn. If you have ceramic tweezers like I do, these things are a lifesaver. If not, you can use just a standard needle nose pliers, but do not fire the device while you've got the needle nose pliers on it, because it will short and you'll have to take your atomizer off and put it right back on, and if you have a mech, it could vent your battery. So I actually use, so over here is lighting up a little bit quicker, so we'll start with it. So what you want to do is go through and heat them up glowing and kind of push them together. You don't want any hot spots or anything like that. And these here seem to be glowing pretty evenly. So what I'm going to do now is just stick the coil jig back in here, and it looks like they're pretty much even. Oh, well, there's a hot spot on that one. That one there seems to be glowing a little bit quicker, so, which if they do glow a little bit quicker, a lot of that has to do with your screws not making good contact. It could be just differences in the wire, differences in the way it's wrapped. It could be anything like that. So, if they don't glow evenly, then it's not the end of the world. Alright, see, that right there just fixed it. Alright, so we're going to let this here cool down, and we're going to come back and we're going to wick it. Alright, and the device is cooled down now. I have some Japanese organic cotton right here. And this particular Japanese cotton, what I do with it, and your method may vary, but I just split it down the center, if I can grab a hold of it. And with each one of these, you can actually get wick four coils with it. So split it down the center, cut it with the grain in half. That way you end up with two pieces just like this. And you're going to want to spread this apart just a little bit, just so you can almost see through it. You want it to be not necessarily thin, but you want the fibers to have enough space in them, because this is actually what makes the cotton wick. Collapsed cotton does not wick anything. So you really want this stuff to be fluffy when you install it. Now what you want to do is, with the grain running this way, you want to come over here and actually roll it. And as you roll it up, you don't want to make it tight or anything. You still want it to be fluffy. So when you get done with it, it's something like this. Then what I do is I just twist one end very, very hard, and you'll end up with something like that. We'll go on and do it with this other one as well. And like I said, your method may vary. This is just what I use. This is what works best for me. So, you know, anybody that knows of a different method to use or anything like that, then, you know, by all means, you know, use what works best for you. Like I said, this is just what I do. So we're going to roll that right up. Just like that. That one there seems to have went a little bit better than the other one. Alright, now it comes time to install it. So we're actually going to come right through the coil and pull it. You just want it to be tight enough to where it does not slide freely, and trim your wicks about there. Like I said, this is just what I do. Your method may vary. I'm going to go right on the other side and do the exact same thing. So you slide it through the coil and then pull it through, just like that. Trim your excess even with the other side. And this one here has got a little tip on it. I had to cut that off. Alright, now with this here, I use the coil jig that we just used to actually make the coils, because it's a little bit easier for me. And you just want to take the tip of it and go just like that. Now when you do this, you want to be able to see the other side of the deck. Or if you have a 4-post or even a 3-post RDA, you want to be able to see that center post through the cotton. So you can kindly see it there. I can get my coil jig all the way through. So, and you want to do that on both sides. So you just tuck it just like that. Tuck it underneath the coil. And now it's time to juice it and vape on it. Alright, and we're back. Got some juice on here, and setting at about 90 watts right now. Let's see if I can get that. Yep, right there. And let's see what it does. Ramps up, you know, just as you would expect it to. The vapor production is actually quite nice. Of course it should be. It's 20 gauge. So now the only thing left to do is, you know, vape it. And I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you disliked it. As always, leave a comment and subscribe.